2024, paper took place at Hazaribagh, the state of Jharkhand, and at Patna, is not in dispute. Bracket 3, bracket 2. Following the transfer of the investigation to it, CBI has filed its status reports dated 10 July 2024. 15 July 2024 and 21 July 2024. Stop. The disclosures by the CBI indicate that the investigation is continuing. CBI has indicated that at the present stage, the material which has emerged during the course of the investigation would indicate that about 155 students from the examination centers at Hazaribagh and Patna appear to be the beneficiaries of the fraud. Since the investigation by the CBI has not attained finality as at the present point of time, this court had, in its previous order, required the Union government to indicate whether certain trends in regard to the existence of normalities or otherwise could be drawn on the basis of the results emanating from the 4,750 centers situated in 571 cities. So, pursuant to the directions of the court, the Union government has produced a report of IIT Madras indicating the position on the basis of data analytics. Full stop. Full stop. The objection of the petitioners to the report of IIT Madras to be considered in the course of the judgment, in the course of the reasoned judgment which will follow. Full stop. At this stage, in order to obviate any controversy, the court has independently scrutinized the data which has been submitted on the record by the NTA. Semicolon. Bracket 4. At the present stage, on the basis of the material on the record, it is not possible for the court to come to the conclusion that at the present stage, on the basis of the material on the record, at the present stage, there is an absence of material on the record sufficient to lead to the conclusion result of the examination stands vitiated, that there was a systemic breach of the sanctity of the examination. Semicolon. 5. Due to the absence of exclusive material on the record at the present stage, the data which has been produced on the record, device, center-wise, the comparison for the years 2022, 2023, and 2024 is not indicative of a systemic leak of the question paper, which would indicate a disruption of the sanctity of the examination. Right? Arriving at the ultimate conclusion, the court is guided by the well-settled test whether it is possible to segregate students from those whose candidature does not suffer from any taint. Moreover, it would need to be clarified that if the investigation reveals involvement of an increased number of beneficiaries, those who are suspects at the present stage, action shall be pursued against any student found to be involved in wrongdoing at any stage, notwithstanding the completion of the counseling process. In other words, no student who is revealed to have engaged in acts of fraud or to have been the beneficiary of malpractices would be entitled to claim a vested right or interest in the continuation of the admission in the future. 6. The court has also been mindful of the fact that directing a fresh
that the leak is limited is born from the fact that accused are saying that it is not beyond Patna. Why would the accused will confess that we have 100 other post-dated checks which are lying somewhere?
Serious consequences for over 2 million students who have appeared at the examination, including in particular, 1. Disruption of the admission schedule for the commencement of medical courses. 2. Cascading effects on the course of medical education. Bracket 3. Prejudicial impact on the availability of qualified medical professionals in the future. And 4. A serious element of disadvantage to the marginalized groups of students whom reservation has been made in the allocation of seats. For the above reasons, there is the considered view that ordering a retest, ordering the cancellation of the entire NEET-UG 2024 examination is neither justified. The application of the settled tests which have been propounded in the decisions of this court, the basis of the material on the record. One of the questions in the course of the NEET-UG 2024 was in the following terms. वो IIT के रिपोर्ट में हम आप लीजिए गिवन बिलो आ था
Yesterday's order.
कल के ऑर्डर में है Initially, the answer key which was prepared by the NTA indicated that the fourth of the above options was the only correct. That the fourth of the options extracted above was the correct answer. Subsequently, on a large number of on representations submitted to NTA, a decision was taken to the effect that both the second of the above option as well as the fourth option would be treated to be the correct option. Would be treated to be correct answers. So, by an order of this court dated 22 July 2024, the director of the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, was requested to constitute a 3-member committee to submit its opinion on which of the options noted above would be the correct option, would be the correct answer to the above question. Stop. The Professor Angan, the director and professor of the Department of Energy, Science and Engineering at IIT Delhi, in his report dated 23 July 2024, indicated that a 3-member committee from the Department of Physics, comprising of colon 1, Professor Pradipta Ghosh, 2, Professor Aditya Narayan Agnihotri, and 3, Professor Sankalpa Ghosh, was constituted for that purpose. The expert team constituted by the director IIT has opined that option 4, as extracted above, is the correct answer. In order to obviate any ambiguity, option 4, which is to be treated as the correct answer, is set out below into inverted commas. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Stop. View of the expert determination. The expert determination by the team constituted by IIT Delhi leaves no manner of ambiguity in regard to the correct option, because in fact, initially, the only option which was treated as the correct answer by NTA. Stop. Options 2 and 4 are mutually exclusive and both cannot stand together. Stop. We accept the report of IIT Delhi. We'll stop accordingly. NTA shall This is the result of the NEET-UG 2024 on the basis that the correct answer, that option 4, as set out, as extracted above, represents the only correct answer to the question. Full stop. We have not indicated the number of the question since the number of the question, since the actual number on different answer booklets, on different OMR sheets, or since the number of the question is likely to vary in view of the procedure which is followed.
Yes.
The number of the question as well as the option is likely to vary. in view of the procedure which is followed at the examination to preserve the integrity of the process. The next, dependency of the proceedings.
Negative marking, your lordships were considered.
No, we'll just leave it at that. I think we'll not. During the course of the hearing, the court had been apprised of the fact that NTA would be conducting a special test for 1563 students. Supersession of the compensatory marks which were awarded. The students were given an option of either appearing for the special test. The 1563 students were given the option of either appearing for the special test or, in the alternative, opting for their original marks without the addition of compensatory marks. NTA is permitted to act accordingly following the test which was held. Next. Since the only question which has been, apart from the question which has been, the principal issue which has been urged before the court relates to the sanctity of the NEET-UG 2024 examination, whether the process was required to be scrapped and a fresh test was to be reconvened. Full stop. Having answered the question in the above terms, it needs to be clarified that if any student, including in the present batch, has an individual grievance not bearing on the issues which have been resolved by this judgment, it will be open to them to pursue their rights and remedies in accordance with law. The competing high courts, the jurisdictional high courts under Article 226 of the Constitution. Full stop. If any, however, before moving the High Court for the grant of relief, the petitioners would have to seek the withdrawal of their petitions before this court, if they have been filed. Full stop. Then we'll finally say,
Transfer petitions.
during the course of the hearing, the court has been apprised of the fact that the Union government has constituted a 7-member expert committee chaired by Dr. K. Radhakrishnan. Radhakrishnan is the former director of ISRO, former director of former chairman of ISRO. So, the committee will abide by the committee and consisting of the following members will be clearly named. The committee will abide by such further directions as may be issued by this court in its final judgment and order in regard to the areas which should be divided into by it, so as to ensure that the process of conducting the NEET-UG and other examinations falling within the remit of the NTA is duly strengthened, so that the instances which came to light during the course of the present year are not repeated in the future.
There were some transfer petitions filed by NTA on this issue itself. That is not disposed of.
The transfer petitions raising the issue as regards the validity of the NEET-UG 2024 examination shall stand disposed of in terms of the above direction, subject to the clarification that individual grievances, if any that remain, may be addressed before the competent high court, before the jurisdictional high court.
Let us grateful for the patient hearing.
Thanks.
So grateful.
Sorry?
Said I have to withdraw the petition. In fact, I have only filed an IA, so I will withdraw that IA before your lordship because tomorrow counseling will start.
The IAs raising individual grievances are similarly permitted to be withdrawn.
Yes, ma'am.
With liberty
Milord,
reserved in the above terms.
Yes.
Milord, a small mention, Milord. Milord, a small mention with great respect. Milord, this is regarding item 21.24. I may be allowed to withdraw my petition, Milord, because it has been tagged with Vanshika Yadav, in which the broad arguments have been addressed.
Anybody else who is present here and who wants to withdraw their petitions, just come and tell the courtmaster, apart from 21.24 who's online.
We'll just record it and we'll make sure that is withdrawn, so that there's no, you don't have to move another court, another time. Just do it right now so you can move
Tomorrow
that.
counseling will start.
I'm so much grateful with
One point please, my lord.
The report may remain for your lordship's perusal. Otherwise, we can apply for certified copies.
Inspection of certified. Your lordship may need it, my lord, for judgment writing.
After the judgment is delivered, then we'll return it back to you.
Yes, yes. In the meanwhile, parties can apply for inspection or certified copy.
Of the CBI report. No, the CBI report will be maintained with.
Yes, yes. That's all I'm requesting.
Because it's an investigation report. Otherwise, the whole investigation may be derailed if we disclose it at this stage.
Can I? The lordship says it's not right time to mention. Item 6 and 9 I'm mentioning.
Yes.
These are the two matters. 9 is Shiv Sena, 6 is NCP. The lordship had intended to have it urgently heard, but NEET overtook us. The lordship may give us the shortest possible time.
For the respondent.
I'm only at the moment asking, one second, I'm asking for the shortest possible time. That is 9th, because otherwise the thing is completely infructuous. One way or the other, elections are there.
Or a systemic manner as to completely affect the sanctity of the entirety of the exam. That also we cannot say. Therefore, I asked to the class, that's why we want your assistance. Can the court, or would the court be justified in a situation like the one present, to say that not on the basis of material which we have today, but on the hypothesis that some material in the future may show that the leak had gone beyond Hazaribagh and Patna. Therefore, today we cancel the exam on the basis of hypothetical centers comprised within 571 cities. Besides 14 cities overseas. Stop. 23 lakh 33,000. Was it 162 or 297?
297. 290.
Total number of, no, you said now 162 in your note.
297.
297 candidates appeared for the examination. Stop. They are competing for 1.08 lakh medical admission at the undergraduate level, of which approximately 56,000 seats are in government hospitals, 52,000, the balance 52,000 being in private institutions, privately managed institutions. During the course of the hearing, the court has been apprised of the fact that the 50th percentile represents the cutoff for qualification. That the 50th percentile represents the cutoff for qualification. So, the examination consists of 180 questions, each carrying 4 marks, making for a total of 720 marks overall. 1 negative mark is assigned for an incorrect answer. So, during the course of the NEET-UG, based on the result of the NEET-UG 2024, the 50th percentile has worked out to 164 marks out of 720. All candidates who have attained at least the threshold of 164 marks is thus qualified, are thus qualified for being considered for admission. The seats are allocated both among the general category of students and the reserved category, consisting of the scheduled castes, consisting of candidates belonging to the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, and economically weaker sections. Stop. In view of the submission which has been urged on behalf of the petitioners is that the leak which took place in the course of the NEET-UG examination systemic in nature, and coupled with the structural deficiencies in the modalities for the examination, the only course of action which would be permissible in view of the previous decisions of this court, including in what is that citation? The first one? Tanvi's case? 2015, including in Tanvi Sarwal versus Central Board of Secondary Education. 2015, 6 SEC 573. And so, 2021, 4 SEC 631 is to direct a retest. Good stuff. By an interim order dated 8 July 2024, while flagging the principal issues in contention, this court had called for a disclosure on affidavit by the National Testing Agency, semicolon, the Union of India, by the Central Bureau of Investigation. The role of the CBI has been implicated because the FIRs which were registered in Delhi, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, and Bihar have been transferred to the central agency for investigation. Stop. Essentially, in the earlier order, this court noted that it would have to scrutinize the following aspects on the basis of the data which would emerge on the record, namely, 1, whether the alleged breach took place at a systemic level, semicolon. 2, whether the breach is of a nature which affects the integrity of the entire examination process, semicolon, and bracket 3, whether it is possible to segregate the beneficiaries of the fraud from the untainted students. Direct or consequently issued to the above agencies of the Union to make specific disclosures on the issues which have been highlighted in the previous order. Stop. Arguments have been heard over 4 days, and we have had the benefit of considering submission urged on behalf of the petitioners from the Union of India and the National Testing Agency. Full stop. Our CBI officer is Mr.
Mr. Krishna is additional director.
Mr. Krishna.
Yes. Additional director CBI.
Additional Director CBI has appeared in the course of the proceedings to apprise the court on the status of the investigation. You can say arguments have been concluded and judgment has been reserved. Good stuff. In a matter like the present, it is imperative that the final conclusions of the court be disclosed at the present stage, should be recorded at the present stage, since there is an urgent need to bring about the urgent need to provide certainty and finality to a dispute which affects the careers of over 2 million students. Stop. Reasons for the ultimate conclusions will follow later, but we proceed to record the essential conclusions in the following terms. One, the fact that a leak of the NEET-UG 2024 paper took place at Hazaribagh, the state of Jharkhand, and at Patna, not in dispute. Bracket 3, bracket 2. Following the transfer of the investigation to it, CBI has filed its status reports dated 10 July 2024. 15 July 2024, 21 July 2024. Stop. The disclosures by the CBI indicate that the investigation is continuing. CBI has indicated that at the present stage, the material which has emerged during the course of the investigation would indicate that about 155 students gone from the examination centers at Hazaribagh and Patna appear to be the beneficiaries of the fraud. Since the investigation by the CBI has not attained finality as at the present point of time, this court had, in its previous order, required the Union government to indicate whether certain trends in regard to the existence of normalities or otherwise could be drawn on the basis of the results emanating from the 4,750 centers situated in 559.
571.
571 cities. So, pursuant to the directions of the court, Union government has produced a report of IIT Madras indicating the position on the basis of data analytics. Let's stop. First stop, the objection of the petitioners to the report of IIT Madras to be considered